Women athletes are joining forces to break a cycle of abuse. I'm Dometi Pongo, and this is MTV News. Need to know. On Wednesday, gymnasts Simone Biles, Michaela Maroney, Maggie Nichols, and Allie Raisman sent a letter to Congress demanding the termination of the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee's board of directors. Their statement claims that the board failed to protect them from convicted sexual abuser and former doctor Larry Nassar. They claim the USOPC knew about hundreds of abuse allegations against Nassar since the 2015-16 season and still did nothing. And last month, these four women testified to Congress that the FBI also turned a blind eye to their allegations against Nassar. During her emotional testimony, Biles said,
"I blame Larry Nassar, and I also blame an entire system that enabled and perpetrated his abuse."
Now, these systems aren't only present in gymnastics. Take former professional soccer players Sinead Farrelly and Mana Shim. Earlier this month, they, along with a number of other former Women's National Soccer League players, accused their former coach, Paul Riley, of verbal abuse and sexual coercion starting in 2010. In an April email to the league commissioner at the time, Farrelly wrote that as a player on the Portland Thorns, I not only witnessed, but also experienced firsthand extremely inappropriate conduct by Mr. Riley. Sinead Farrelly was coached by Riley on 3 separate teams and claimed that he made harassing comments to her and other players, and that he coerced her into having sex with him on multiple occasions. She and Shim came forward about an instance where Riley took them back to his apartment and asked them to kiss each other in front of him, or else he'd punish the team with exhausting drills. Farrelly says there was no serious investigation into her or anyone else's allegations against Riley. Before stepping down, the commissioner, Lisa Baird, responded to Farrelly's email by saying that her 2015 allegation was investigated to conclusion, but that she couldn't share any of the details. See, it's that lack of transparency that leaves victims feeling unheard and perpetuates this climate that makes it even more difficult to come forward. It was when Farrelly, Shim, and others came forward together in an article for The Athletic that Riley was finally fired. He's one of 4 different NWSL coaches, all men who have been fired in just the past 4 months for off-field misconduct, including sexual abuse and racist remarks. And Baird has resigned amid the scandal. Alex Morgan, one of the league's biggest stars, is standing with Farrelly and Shim. She tells the Today Show what needs to happen for players to feel safe.
Something we ask is for the league to start being proactive, not reactive. We ask for transparency.
If this is allowed to happen, this total disregard for the safety of some of the country's most elite athletes, what does it mean for the people who don't have such a large platform? As actress and activist Sophia Bush wrote on Instagram, this kind of workplace abuse is widespread. So many women in so many industries have existed inside of systems that told us and showed us that there was no help to be found, that our words wouldn't be heard and our pain and abuse didn't matter. Those systems are finally being blown up and dismantled. These incidents don't happen in a vacuum. Systems allow for misconduct to persist. Whether it's Larry Nassar, some coach in Portland, or R. Kelly, or a priest, or a manager at a restaurant, removing these individual perpetrators means nothing if the powers that be prioritize abusive men over the voices of victims. And that's what these athletes understand. And that's why they're coming together to stand up against a system of enablers. And the only way to cut this problem down at the root is by making it costly to stand idly by when abuse happens. I'm Dometi Pongo, and that's what you need to know.